now official. Benjamin Netanyahu is out as Israeli Prime Minister.
Is it politics or prophecy? Is Netanyahu on the verge of unveiling the Jewish Messiah, as a rabbi boldly claims? Decipher the mysteries. Will this revelation alter history or spark debate? Participate in the discussion about what is out there. Are ancient beliefs and contemporary leadership convergent? Learn right now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a political heavyweight for more than 10 years, has resigned. It was the end of a time of strong leadership and controversial policies. Netanyahu, revered for his powerful oratory and unwavering commitment to national security, will forever be etched into the nation's annals. His resignation coincides with significant shifts in Israeli politics, including the formation of a new coalition government. As the country begins a new chapter, many are thinking back on Netanyahu's time in office, which was marked by technological and diplomatic advances, as well as by polarizing policies that inspired both passionate support and passionate criticism. The resignation of Netanyahu has prompted speculation about the future domestic and international policies of Israel and its new leadership. The legacy of Benjamin Netanyahu will continue to be discussed and analyzed as the political climate changes, and this will have a lasting impact on how Israeli history is told. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a political heavyweight for more than 10 years, has resigned. It was the end of a time of strong leadership and controversial policies. Netanyahu, revered for his powerful oratory and unwavering commitment to national security, will forever be etched into the nation's annals. His resignation coincides with significant shifts in Israeli politics, including the formation of a new coalition government. As the country begins a new chapter, many are thinking back on Netanyahu's time in office, which was marked by technological and diplomatic advances, as well as by polarizing policies that inspired both passionate support and passionate criticism. The resignation of Netanyahu has prompted speculation about the future domestic and international policies of Israel and its new leadership. The legacy of Benjamin Netanyahu will continue to be discussed and analyzed as the political climate changes, and this will have a lasting impact on how Israeli history is told. Since 2002, Benjamin Netanyahu, a significant figure in Israeli politics, has been intermittently linked to claims of secret meetings with a supposed Messiah-like figure. These rumors have been circulating since at least 2002. These assertions have caused a great deal of mystery and conjecture in a variety of communities. The rumors claim that Netanyahu is engaged in covert encounters with a mysterious individual, evoking whispers of heavenly guidance and esoteric wisdom. Despite the lack of tangible evidence, the report suggests that Netanyahu has done so. It is essential to point out that the majority of these allegations have not been proven to any significant degree, and there are no reliable sources or written documentation to authenticate the occurrence of such meetings. Some others believe that these reports may have been started for political reasons, with the intention of smearing Netanyahu's reputation or undermining his ability to lead. Netanyahu, a divisive figure known for his forceful political stance and pointed vocabulary, has not directly addressed these charges in a manner that is sufficiently comprehensive. Instead, the majority of his attention has been directed toward his involvement in Israeli politics and his approach to matters pertaining to the area. It is important to take such statements with a critical eye and separate fact from fiction when evaluating them, even though the idea of a political leader having a meeting with an entity resembling the Messiah stirs the imagination. To this day, the claimed encounters that took place between Netanyahu and a candidate for the role of Messiah continue to be the subject of conjecture and are confined to the realm of unconfirmed stories. In an intriguing confluence of events, the traits of the Messiah, who is expected to come in the near future, appear to correspond with the deeds and rhetoric of Benjamin Netanyahu, who served as past Prime Minister of Israel. This alignment has ignited conversations on the junction of politics, religion, and leadership, and it has aroused ardent support as well as fervent opposition. Scholars and believers have traditionally depicted the awaited Messiah as a charismatic and decisive figure, one who would be distinguished by an unyielding dedication to the nation's continued existence and ascent. Netanyahu's stint as prime minister clearly reflected these characteristics, as he exhibited a resolute attitude regarding the protection of Israel's security and sovereignty during his time in office. Those who considered him as a staunch protector of the nation's interests reacted favorably to his strong and assertive foreign policies, which resonated with them. Netanyahu's actions, on the other hand, have drawn fierce condemnation, just like those of any contentious politician. Opponents pointed to his divisive tactics and questioned if his objectives were truly philanthropic or driven by political expediency. They also criticized his divisive techniques. The fact that his actions were aligned with messianic qualities made the discussion even more complex and raised questions about the narrow line that separates visionary leadership and personal ambition. The surprising confluence of the characteristics of the awaited Messiah and the actions of Netanyahu adds another layer of complexity to the already dense fabric of Israeli politics and theology, which continues to see diverging perspectives. The answer to the question of whether or not this alignment is a coincidence or an indication of a deeper narrative is still up for passionate speculation. The topic regarding Benjamin Netanyahu's possible connection to being the Antichrist or a messianic figure has inspired passionate debate among academics, religious leaders, and analysts. This argument has been spurred by the controversy about Benjamin Netanyahu's potential connection to being the Antichrist. Opinions are extremely divided, which is a reflection of the deeply held beliefs and interpretations that people have. On the one hand, those who believe Netanyahu could be the Antichrist point to the fact that he has made contentious political decisions and has a leadership style that divides people. They say that his quest for power and self-interest aligns with specific prophecies that describe a villainous character acting against divine principles, and that this makes him a suitable candidate for this role. On the other hand, followers who perceive Netanyahu as a messianic figure emphasize his role in creating Israeli politics and his strong stance on national security. They believe that Netanyahu is the one who will bring about the end of the Jewish state. They regard his leadership as an essential factor in maintaining the Jewish state, bringing historical predictions to fruition, and making it possible for Jewish people to return to the country that was historically theirs. Interpretations of religious texts, historical events, and current geopolitical developments are frequently at the center of disputes. As this dialogue continues, it highlights the enormous impact that leaders may have on influencing perceptions of their identity and purpose within the context of religious and political narratives. This is true whether the narratives are told from a political or religious perspective. Scholars and religious watchers have had some fascinating conversations about Benjamin Netanyahu's possible part in the two-stage arrival of the Messiah. Within the context of this end-of-the-world scenario, the political and historical significance of the former Prime Minister of Israel has given rise to rumors regarding the possibility that certain messianic prophecies could be fulfilled by him. In the beginning stages, some people believed that Netanyahu's leadership would play a crucial role in bolstering Israel's standing on the international scene. This was a role that was believed to fulfill certain prerequisites for the coming of the Messiah. Others, however, did not share this view. It was widely believed that his forceful policies and efforts to bolster Israel's security and sovereignty were essential milestones in paving the way for a Jewish state that is both more safe and more prosperous in the future. During the second stage, Netanyahu's activities were analyzed in light of many prophecies foreshadowing the coming of the Messiah. According to certain readings, he may have a role in the geopolitical transitions and conflicts that are expected to come before the messianic age of peace and harmony. Others saw his political maneuvering as a complicated interplay of historical events that could match with specific prophetic dates. This was how they interpreted what he was trying to accomplish. The speculation that surrounds Netanyahu's involvement in messianic narratives is informed by a number of different elements, all of which contribute to the fact that these interpretations vary greatly. This fact is very important to keep in mind. The question of whether or not current political events are somehow related to old religious prophecies is one that is still being discussed, which highlights the deep intertwining of historical events, religious beliefs, and political systems. The comparison of Jewish ideas on the Messiah to the way in which those beliefs were fulfilled in Jesus Christ involves both the historical and theological spheres of inquiry. In Jewish tradition, The Messiah is envisioned as a future rescuer who will redeem the Jewish people and usher in an age of world peace. This event, known as the Messianic Redemption, is projected to take place in the distant future. This presumption can be traced back to a variety of Hebrew scriptures as well as rabbinical traditions. On the other hand, Christian theology says that Jesus Christ is the Messiah and that certain prophecies about him have to be fulfilled in him. Christians believe that Jesus, who was born of a virgin, was the promised Messiah who came to provide salvation not only to the Jews but to all of humanity. They also think that Jesus came to fulfill the prophecy that he would be born of a virgin. His crucifixion and resurrection are seen as the two most important events in this fulfillment because they make it possible to receive forgiveness for one's sins and to have eternal life. While Jewish tradition anticipates the coming of the Messiah, Christians believe that Jesus already came to earth to fulfill all of God's promises. The divinity of Jesus is a topic of contention between the two faiths, and it is at the center of the divergent interpretations of his teachings. The belief that Jesus was both totally human and fully divine is a central tenet of Christian theology regarding redemption. For Jews, the Messiah is a human agent. For Christians, however, Jesus is both fully human and fully divine. The juxtaposition of these worldviews highlights the significant doctrinal differences that exist between Judaism and Christianity, while also highlighting the common historical roots and biblical foundations that both of these religions share. The disagreement regarding the nature of the Messiah continues to affect conversations between people of different faiths as well as scholarly research, which enriches people's understanding of both religions. Israel's hope for the coming of the Messiah hasn't waned at all. It's a generational obsession. The ancient prophecies are deeply ingrained in the minds of the people there, sparking a belief that their nation would be redeemed and brought together by the coming of a Savior. But now, a subtle current of doubt mixes with the eagerness, throwing shadows of uncertainty upon the long-held assumption that Jesus is the Messiah. Divergent opinions have arisen due to the wide variety of interpretations that have resulted from Israel's multifaceted religious and cultural traditions. Some people are still firmly rooted in the historical account of Jesus Christ as the long-awaited Redeemer, but others are looking for new interpretations of the prophecies to ground their faith. Rumors of an alternative messianic figure based on diverse readings of the Bible have prompted discussions that call into question long-held beliefs. Despite these doubts, the hope for a Messiah remains a powerful force, uniting groups and sparking conversations about matters of faith and identity. Israel is poised on the brink of a historic juncture as the nation negotiates the complex tension between hope and fear that has the potential to alter the very nature of faith and the national picture of salvation. The purported relationship between former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the esoteric figures of the Messiah or the Antichrist is shrouded in mystery amidst the intricate tapestry of political and theological discourse. Netanyahu's behavior, comments, and policies have been the subject of intense controversy among academics, religious leaders, and the media. Supporters of this view point to Netanyahu's charismatic leadership style and his skill at negotiating complex diplomatic terrains as indicators that he is a fitting candidate for the role of Messiah. Others, however, examine his political strategies and polarizing policies with suspicion, voicing fears that he may display traits associated with the Antichrist, a figure of evil and manipulation. It's worth noting that many interpretations of ancient prophecies, religious literature, and historical events are major sources for these ideas. Insights of messianic or apocalyptic components amid the changing sands of current geopolitics are perceived by some as a result of the mystery surrounding Netanyahu's link to such profound archetypes, highlighting the complex interplay between politics and belief systems. As the discussion continues, only passing years will reveal the importance, if any, of this cryptic connection. The role of a Messiah in Israel has provoked deep arguments concerning its implications. In Jewish tradition and religion, a Messiah is a rescuer who will save and redeem the Jewish people. Multifaceted consequences arise from the Messiah dilemma. On one hand, it gives Israelis hope and unity by proposing a peaceful future. It can motivate people to seek justice and harmony. Thanks for watching. For more, kindly subscribe to our channel.